I think we're streaming, but I'm not sure. I think we're on live. You guys can see me dancing probably and singing because I'm waiting for YouTube, but we're probably live and this will probably be on the live
Hey,
stream. Hey, are we there? Hey! How's it going, everyone in the world? Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Those Worship People, episode 3 with Spencer Cormany over there. I did say that right?
you got it. Yep.
Cormany. Okay. Could be Cormani. I don't know. Maybe it's Italian or something. Spencer is the creator and brains and beard behind Leading Worship Well, which is started as Instagram, right?
Correct. Yep.
Started as Instagram, still does Instagram all daily, right? Which is
Every single day.
insane. But still does Instagram daily. Also got a YouTube channel and a website and an ebook and all kinds of stuff. And I will let him talk about that a bunch later. But if you don't follow him on Instagram and you're a person on Instagram, which means you're human, I guess, is because everybody's on Instagram now, you should follow him, Leading Worship Well. And I'm sorry, I'm checking my live stream post. There we go. Okay. We have an okay connection. So, yep, like I said, this is episode 3 of not Leading Worship Well. That's yours. Those Worship People. Forgot what I'm on. Our first one was with Adam Brown. Second one was Jake Gosling. Pitted those two in a battle of wits, and now the next guest is Spencer. So, welcome, Spencer. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right, you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Cool. So we're going to start with who the heck are you? So, who the heck are you?
I am Spencer Thomas Cormany. I'm a worship leader from Pennsylvania. I lead worship at a church in southern Pennsylvania called Merge Community Church. It's a church of about 100 people. And that's where I'm leading right now. I've been leading worship for, let's say, 13 years. I started when I was 13. I'm now 26. So that's the general outline of my life of leading worship.
You're 26 and you've been leading for 13 years.
I have
half
been,
of
yeah.
your life.
Yes. Would you like to hear the story of how I got into leading worship?
I would.
Because it includes a Kiss acoustic guitar, Paul Stanley from the band Kiss. My family started a contemporary worship service, which is what they were called before they were just known as worship services like they are nowadays. But this was back in like the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So they started this contemporary worship service at my church, which had just had traditional worship up until that point, and my entire family was musical. They all played on the worship team. My dad and sister sang, my brother played bass, my mom played keyboard, and I sat in the seats during rehearsal and during church and watched them because I had no musical ability until one day my dad came home and he dragged this box through the door and opened it up, and inside was an acoustic guitar with the face of Paul Stanley from Kiss, the band Kiss, the people who wear makeup on it. So he handed it to me. He's a big Kiss fan, and that's why he got it. But he handed it to me, and from then on, I practiced for like 3 or 4 hours every single day for a year or two until I got to the place where I could actually join them on stage and
I thought you were going to say join Kiss.
Lead worship until I joined Kiss and we rocked. No, until I joined my family in the worship team. And from there, I kept growing until the worship coordinator at the time, like the person in charge of leading worship at our church, stepped down. And they came to me when I was 16 years old and asked me to lead the worship band. So I was like a senior in high school when I first started leading worship bands. And I led there for a year and led that team probably pretty poorly because I was only 16 years old, but they gave me a chance. And then I went to college and got involved in campus ministry there, and then eventually moved back to my hometown of Chambersburg and started leading worship at the church that I'm leading worship at now, which I've been there for 8 years. I think I was counting yesterday, 8 years, and on staff for 3 years.
Seemed like a pretty normal worship leading origin story to me. I don't know.
Yes.
What's the church you lead at now called?
Merge Community Church.
Merge Community. And you are from, did you say that? Sorry, I missed it. You're from
Chambersburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was messing with my stuff. Sorry, I was listening, but I wasn't looking.
I got you.
My apologies. That's very rude of me. Let me stare into your eyes for a second. Okay, we're good. All right, you said how long you've been in ministry. That was 13 years, half of your life.
Yes.
Cool. So let's get to the hot seat questions. You ready?
I'm so ready.
All right. So these are just quick fire questions. They're not hard. They're just your preferences and stuff mostly. All right. So first hot seat question. I need like a light to shine into your eyes or something. Is what are you watching right now?
What am I watching right now? I'm watching a lot of YouTube. Tons of YouTube. I don't have cable or anything, so I don't really watch TV. When I do watch TV, I watch the Food Network, just whatever's on, because I like cooking. So if you're looking for shows, probably like Beat Bobby Flay is a good one. It's a cooking competition on Food Network. But on YouTube,
do you ever watch Good Eats?
I have before. That's the one with Alton Brown,
Yes.
right? Yeah, I heard that just came back on, right?
That's my favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
I love it.
And there's new episodes now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's like Bill Nye with food. It's amazing.
That's true, yeah.
This is sponsored by Food Network today. No. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
All right, what are you reading right now?
I am reading two things. Actually, I just finished one. I'll grab it real quick. It's right over here.
So we've lost Spencer, guys. I'm very sorry. He's gone. There he is.
back.
We're good.
Is this backwards in your camera? I don't know. It's called Just Do Something.
Wait, I haven't seen it yet. You're waving it around. Wait. Oh, go to the left. Back up.
Oh, it's too
It's
bad.
really, there we go. Just Do Something by Kevin DeYoung. Hey, Kevin DeYoung. He's the reform dude from,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he wrote a bunch of books, but I just finished that one maybe a month ago, and that was a really good book. It was a topic that I've been trying to figure out in my head for a while, talking about like God's specific will and God's general will for us, and how we spend too much time chasing the specific will before we understand the general will, like what he wants every Christian to do. So it was kind of just like, it doesn't matter specifically what you're doing as long as you are doing it for God and doing it the way that God wants you to do it. So like, don't get caught up in the details all the time, but read the Bible and do what it says.
I need to read that. What is it called? Do Something or something?
Just do something.
Just Do
a
Something.
liberating approach to finding God's will.
Just Do Something. That sounds
It's a really short read too. And then the other book I've been reading is, what is it? The book by Jordan Peterson. It's called like 12 Rules for Life. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one before.
No.
It's a popular book that people talk about online. So
Is that a Christian book or just a general?
No. But it deals a lot with the Bible. But I wanted to see how he used the Bible and like treated it. And so it's been good to see what like people outside of the church think about the Bible. I've kind of been reading it through that viewpoint.
Cool. Quick break for the hot seat questions. Hey, if you're watching right now, talk to us. Get on the live chat next to me somewhere. It's somewhere over there. Live chat next to you. Just type in something, type whatever. Answer the hot seat questions with us. Give us questions that we want to talk about. Compliment our amazing facial hair. Whatever you want to do is fine. But yeah, talk to us. Let us know you're here. And we'll continue with the hot seat questions with, we said, what are you watching? What are you reading? Now what are you listening to?
I am listening to John Mayer. I have a newfound love for John Mayer. I hadn't really listened to him too much, even though I play guitar. So I feel like that's something that I should have listened to a long time ago.
Yeah.
So been learning a lot of John Mayer songs for the technique.
Oh my gosh, he's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. I saw an interview with him that was really good where he was talking about how he became like the world's largest narcissist because, you know.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good interview. Good.
Yep. So that in the secular world, I guess, I've been listening to the newest Hillsong United album. I'm a little late on that, but I have this weird thing where if everybody likes something, then I try not to like it because I don't want to. I don't want to do that. You do that
Yes. Thank you.
So
in fact, I don't even know what you're talking about. What's
it?
Newest album? Like it's got Mighty to Save on it. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes, yes. Is it called People? I don't even know what it's called, but
honestly, the last Hillsong album that I have listened to anything on was the one with the cover art that everybody said was satanic, and it had the Who You Say I Am. Well, maybe it had that song. I don't remember, but is it good?
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's a live CD.
But that was a dumb question for a Hillsong.
Everybody was like, you gotta listen to these songs. They're so good. And I was like, that makes me want to listen to them even less. But now that 3 or 4 months have gone by or whatever, I finally started listening to them, and it's good.
Okay.
So that's like the worship side of it.
Okay. So John Mayer and the new Hillsong.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay. Martin, Taylor, Gibson, or Weirdo?
I'm going to say 2 answers. First of all, I play a Taylor every Sunday, a 214 CE. That was my upgrade from the Kiss guitar that my dad got me.
I don't know if that's an upgrade or not, but sure.
Oh, that's true. I bought that for myself whenever I graduated high school. So that was my high school graduation gift to myself. So that's the guitar that I know and love. But if I had to choose again, I would be a weirdo and I would get a Breedlove guitar.
Interesting. I played a couple of those. I never found one that I thought was amazing, but I hear a lot of good things about him.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you have a specific one you like? Or?
No.
Do you know the Breedlove guy is from Taylor?
Yes, yeah.
That's cool. Taylor guy was like, hey, go make guitars because you're really good at it. You don't hear that much in the real world.
Right, yeah.
Alan Smith says, I don't know if this is to you or me. Do you listen to anything other than praise and worship? Well, you know, he has a John Mayer poster in his bedroom, so he really likes John Mayer. I mostly listen to not praise and worship in general. I like praise and worship. I just don't usually listen to it for, I guess being a worship leader, maybe I'm like, I hear this a lot in a lot of places. I'm going to listen to, I don't know, something else. I do listen to a lot of Christian rap. I really like, so the greatest and worst theological depth in songs in Christian music currently, the worst and the best are Christian rap. Because like there's two different, there's like Christian rap that comes out of prosperity gospel churches, which is just absolute garbage. Sorry to say that. And then there's like the Shylins and the Lecrae's to some point, and like all those kind of dudes. Tripoli is one of my favorites, and they just like Shylin is like a theology course in a rap song. So I listen to a lot of that. If you don't listen to that and you think I'm crazy, go check out Shylin and you'll know what I'm talking about. You listen to. Go ahead.
I've got one for you to check out. A Christian rapper. His name's Timothy Brindle. He did a whole CD. Do you know him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good.
Did a whole CD with like focusing on John Piper's sermons.
Yeah,
it's good.
Those dudes love John Piper.
yeah. They always put him in the background because he's got like that old timey preachy kind of vibe. They open it up.
That's how you know if you're listening to the good rap or the bad rap. If it starts with John Piper talking, it's the good stuff. If it starts with TD Jakes talking, then it's the other one. Okay, sorry. I'm just alienating as many people as possible today.
Yeah.
All right. So, yep, that's what we listened to. I didn't really answer your question very well, but that's okay. Thanks for asking, Alan Smith. Again, if you have questions or just want to talk, let us know in the live chat. Back to the hot seat for soundboards, analog or digital?
I would prefer digital, but my church has an analog soundboard right now.
Okay, cool. I feel like it's just something I like about analog, and this is I'm sorry, I'm taking over all of your hot seat questions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's not that. It's just that I think it's funny that the church is always like 10 years behind culture in these kind of things, because like if you go to studios now, they're like, oh yeah, we threw away our digital board because we like that analog sound.
Yeah.
And then in 10 years, churches are going to be like, digital's too robotic. We're going to get analog, and then it's going to go back and forth and all. I'm sorry. I would prefer digital just because you can do so much with them. But analogs are fun.
Yeah.
Favorite Bible translation?
I would say favorite is the NASB. Like that literal translation. I think my favorite thing to do when reading the Bible, though, is to look at like the original language. Like look at the interlinear translation. If you just type in like the Bible passage and then interlinear, it has like the English, but then it's got whatever the original language is, and then you can like look up what those words actually mean.
Where do you do that?
I think it's called BibleHub.com.
Okay.
I usually just Google whatever passage I'm looking for, and then interlinear after it.
Okay. So Spencer is a real worship leader we know because he looks at the original Greek, which...
Yeah. I'm also preaching at my church this week, so I just got done doing that. I feel like I include way too much Greek. Yeah, I'm a Greek geek. Yeah.
Wait, did you go to seminary?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
All right. Usually the Greek people are seminary people. I mean, you look up the Greek, you like the NSAB. Are you a professor in a seminary? Is that what's happening? No, okay. I feel you. I like both those. Favorite piece of gear right now?
See, I'm not really too into gear if you've read my post before, so I feel like I'm going to say Taylor 214 CE, my guitar. The guitar I've had for like 9 or 10 years.
Cool. I got a 114, and that's my favorite piece of gear too.
Yeah.
Which I also bought for my graduation, but for college. All right. Favorite hymn right now, and then the next question will be favorite modern song. So just
okay.
Favorite
hymn, Nothing But the Blood.
Nice. Okay. Modern song.
I'll say Canvas and Clay because we just introduced that to our church.
What is that?
Pat Barrett.
Sorry, I'm out of the loop.
Guy who wrote Good Father.
Okay. I've heard of Pat Barrett. I do know Good Father. I'm not that out of touch.
Canvas and Clay is a relatively new song.
Okay.
But it's pretty good. It's about how God is shaping our lives.
Is Pat Barrett the Build My Life dude?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, that was the hot seat. You made it through.
Ouch, I am burned.
Yeah, I talked more than you did. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, now it's my second favorite part of the whole thing. This is fail corner. What is your most embarrassing worship leader fail ever?
Can I share two?
Yes, you can.
Because
you can share as many as you want.
I only have two because I don't usually make mistakes.
Yeah, okay.
No, I made a mistake this past Sunday. I forgot the lyrics to a song. But these both took place in high school. The first was we were out at like a nursing home. So the mistake was minimized because we were in a nursing home and people were just glad that we were there singing. But we wanted to do the song How He Loves. And I did not play it in the correct time signature. I started playing it in like 4/4. So all the lines were drawn out. And I was too prideful at the time to stop and start over. So I just dragged that song on for, I guess, like, I don't know, longer than it should have gone. And it was horrible. It's like, he is jealous for me. And I had like, we were at a nursing home, so like everybody behind me was trying to sing along with us because we wanted to sing the song for them. But that was probably my worst.
That's awesome.
The second is there's actually video evidence of this. When I was in high school, I did the song Like a Lion. Do you remember that song?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess the Newsboys redid it, but this was even before they did it. But I had just gotten back from a like church camp, like a week of church camp, and my band at the time had this show at this coffee shop in town. And so I show up straight off of like no sleep, and I think I had just canoed 12 miles for the day because that's what we did the last day of church camp. And I get to this coffee shop and play a few songs, and then somebody requests the song Like a Lion. And I don't know what key I usually do that song in, but I wasn't thinking straight, so I put it up way too high, like 4 steps higher than it should have been. and my voice cracks in the middle of the song. So if you want to see that video, you can type in "Wake the Dawn Like a Lion," and you will find a video of a young Spencer Cormany and his worship fail.
Now let me type that in. Wake the dawn.
Like a lion, yep.
I wish I would have known that. I could like bring it up during the live stream.
Yeah, you probably could.
I'm not gonna do that to you. That's I think we've all done both of those before. Everybody started a song. Most people would stop, but I'm not gonna judge you.
Yeah. I was young and prideful.
Oh, I feel you. I'm old and prideful, so that works out. Yeah. I've starting compound meter songs in regular and standard meter is just the worst. The worst. Yeah. Or when you're trying to transition between the two. All right, I'm going to give you a fail now. I'll made you be embarrassing, so I'll be embarrassing. And luckily, I have messed up so much in my life that I can do this for every single live stream I ever do, so that's good. This one wasn't my fail, though. I just remembered this in a church the other day. This is my favorite fail ever in a church. So we were playing, and we had a piano player who was an awesome person, as you would say in the South before you insult somebody, bless her heart. And she was an amazing piano player and a really cool person. She was like close to 70 probably, and she was playing an electric piano, and she didn't quite understand the buttons and what the different sounds were. So she went up and she pressed the wrong sound button on the keyboard, and I do not know why a keyboard has this sound, but it did. So we're playing. She's kind of quiet in the mix, so we can't actually hear the weird sound until the song like dies down to the quiet contemplative part, and then we hear pew 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 pew. It had like a fireworks gunshot sound, and she was just playing pew 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 pew. So we get down this nice part, and everybody's looking around because there's like sci-fi gunshots going off in the sanctuary.
That was the Holy Spirit.
It was the Holy Spirit
moving in the room.
Oh man, you had to be there, but it was the most amazing thing I've ever witnessed in my life. Have you seen that YouTube video where Martin Smith from Delirious sets the Bible down?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like that. All right. Fail Corner, thank you so much for having two. Awesome. Yeah. Now, my actual favorite part of the live stream, the Feats of Obscure Knowledge. You ready?
I am.
Okay. So we'll start with the trivia. Let me get it. So you have...
Let me pull up Google real quick.
No, that's cheating.
I'll keep my hands up here.
Don't make me get out the NSAB on you. All right. So this will be 4 trivia questions. Here are your choices. I'm going to give you 6 categories. Remember, this game is like 20 years old, so tread carefully. Our World, 20 years ago. Fame, 20 years ago. Media, 20 years ago. Science, sports, nature. Which one you want?
Let's do nature.
Nature, okay. All right, here we go. See if you're worthy of the name worship leader. Here we go. Oh, this is a good one. True or false? Also, on the live stream, you can answer if you want to, because it's like 30 seconds delayed, so he won't see the answer until after he answers.
I'm just going to wait 30 seconds.
Shouldn't have said that. True or false? Reindeers are not real animals.
That is... Wait, they are not real animals. So that is false.
Yeah, that's a double negative. Yes, false is correct. You got the...
That was a hard one.
Ages 10 to 15 question correct. Good work. Awesome. All right, true or false? Another true or false. You can only see a rainbow if you are not facing the sun.
Can only see a rainbow if you're not facing the sun.
Yeah.
I say false.
True.
Hmm.
Well, I'm sure this game wouldn't lie to us, so.
Yeah. It's just old. It's not wrong.
Yeah. That physics of light didn't change in the last 20 years, I don't think. All right. Which of the following boiled... Wait, what? Oh, I thought this was about animals. Okay, it's not. We're good. Which of the following are boiled to make marmalade? Fruits or vegetables?
Fruits.
Fruits. That's correct, unless you're a hipster. Then probably kale. All right.
Yeah.
Last question. You got 2 out of 4 right now. You could get 3 out of 4. What animal is the largest living animal on Earth?
On Earth, I
Mm-hmm.
would say an elephant.
No.
No.
Sorry. On Earth? Think about it.
Like on Earth or in the sea too.
Oh, yeah. No, on
I thought
Earth.
I thought you meant on
No,
land. I
no.
would say
On the
a
planet.
whale
On the
then.
planet.
A whale.
Okay, I'm going to need you to be more specific.
I'll say, uh, I don't know, whale types. Blue whale.
Oh, you did it.
Good. Yeah,
Blue whale.
nice.
Sorry, I get it on Earth. I get on Earth. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. All right.
I was overthinking.
So 3 out of 4. Oh shoot! I didn't bring up the scoreboard of greatness. Let me bring up the scoreboard
Yeah,
of
I was
greatness.
waiting for it.
Sorry, my
Wanted
bad.
to see me overtake the other two. Who was it? Jake and
Jake and Adam.
Adam?
Yep, it should be up now. And oh man, I didn't. I was supposed to put your name in before I did this. My bad. Paste duplicate. Okay, there we go. All right, good. You can help me spell your name anyway.
Spencer.
Hold on, I've lost everything. Where's your? Where's your? Oh, there it is. All right, Spencer Cormany.
Yep.
Okay. Oh boy, you're late and your name's too long. That's terrible. I'll have to make it smaller. This is why live streams are fun, because you get to see me do this.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody in the world's enjoying watching this. But this is incredibly important. I don't want anybody's street cred to not be immediately available. Okay, and you got 3 so far. 3 points so far. Okay, scoreboard of greatness is updated. So that means you need 6 to tie on the next Feats of Obscure Knowledge, or 7 to win. All right,
How many are there? 10?
there's 10 on the next one.
Okay.
So you good chance, good chance.
Easy.
All right, I'm going to put away the scoreboard of greatness there. All right. All right, now we're going to get to our not ridiculous part of the live stream. So this is our worship topic of the day. This is where we talk about actual worship things, although we talked about some earlier. And I'd like to talk about a post that you posted. How many days ago was that? Like 2 days ago?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
Okay. On his Leading Worship Well Instagram, and probably on other things too, right?
Facebook.
Facebook.
Website.
He posted about corporate worship versus personal worship, and more so why corporate worship is important apart from or in addition to personal worship. So this is a topic that I also am semi-passionate about. That passionate's a weird way to talk about this topic, but I think it's a lot of people in church may not understand it, and we don't really talk about it a lot in churches. I don't think many people do, the difference of corporate and personal worship, so a lot of people don't understand it, and that can cause issues. So can you just talk about real quick what's the difference between corporate and personal worship, and why do we care about that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say that when I was talking to Nathan about this before we started, I just told him, like, I don't have all the answers, and part of me posting this idea was that I wanted it to be a discussion with other worship leaders so we could flesh it out together. And Nathan said, well, let's flesh it out on a live stream. So
Yeah, no better place to have deep theological conversations than live on the
yes,
internet. So,
where people can just
Where you
cut
can
them
just-
up
yeah.
and make you look like know what you're talking
so
about.
everything that Spencer says wrong, just leave in the live chat right on the side.
Yes. So I've talked about this idea a couple times before, and before I've kind of talked about it in relation to like the songs that we choose to sing. So there's corporate worship songs, or I've called them congregational worship songs before, and personal worship songs. And personal worship songs don't always make sense in a congregational or a corporate setting because of either like the language that's used in them might be hard to understand for the whole church. But if you sat down during your own personal worship time, like you could sit down and really reflect on what it means for your life. So there's that side of it. Also, like the musical side of it, some songs are hard to sing. They've got complex rhythms, a crazy range, and they're really fun to listen to. And you can even worship through them with your personal worship time. They can lead you into worship, but they might not work in a corporate environment. So that's the one side that I was that I've talked about before, but this post a couple days ago was more about our responsibility to each other in corporate worship. So I raised this idea that what I see a lot in churches is that there's a lot of people who come into a corporate worship setting and have a personal worship experience. So we come in and we sit down or stand up and close our eyes and just try to block out all the noise and block out everybody else in the room and focus on just us connecting with God. But what I wanted us to think about was our responsibility to each other. So Ephesians 5:19, Paul says that we are to be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another with psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit, and to sing and make music from your heart to the Lord. So I think we've got the sing and make music from your heart to the Lord. I think we've got that part down. But I don't know how well we're doing the other part, where we have a responsibility of encouraging each other with these songs that we're singing. So that's the general outline.
That's a wonderful general outline. Can I quote your Instagram post?
Yes, go for it.
All right. Or was there something really good? Well, it was all really good, but something hit me. What was it? I think it was just the second paragraph. When we get together in the same room with other believers, find our own space, close our eyes, and try our hardest to connect with God. And there's nothing wrong with personal worship, but we can do that at home. We don't need a church for that. In fact, we should be doing that, not just on Sundays, but all throughout the week. The second sentence, there it is. Corporate worship has become synonymous with having a personal worship experience in a corporate setting. I think that's brilliant. That's so true, and I don't think many people have any idea that's happening. Corporate worship has become synonymous with having a personal worship experience in a corporate setting. Yeah, that's amazing, and it also causes issues sometimes for worship leaders and congregations and misunderstandings. I talked about this with you a little bit beforehand, but sometimes people will come up to me, and I'm sure other people out here too will come up and they'll be like, hey, I heard this song on the radio and it really hit me, and I was just like straight up worshiping in my car when I was hearing it. Can you please play it in worship? And then you have to say something like, I'm glad that happened. It's not a good song for corporate worship. And because there's not that understanding that those two are both different but equal like things, they'll be like, oh, you're saying this experience I had is wrong, that, my worship song I like is a bad worship song. And that's not what you're saying at all. You're just saying, Good Father is one that comes up for me a lot. And I don't have a problem with churches that play Good Father in worship, because this is all just opinions, and it's a really good song. You might think it's a really good song. Some people don't like it. But it has a lot of personal, subjective statements in it that I personally am not comfortable leading people in saying together. Like, I've heard 1,000 stories of what you're thinking. I've heard your tender whispers in the dead of night. And like, I don't know if you have done either of those things, really. I may have, but I don't really feel comfortable leading you in those subjective statements. But on the flip side, I've actually heard Good Father in my car and been just like totally moved by it. And this is like, whoa, this is all kinds of stuff coming up for me. So I don't think it's a bad worship song at all, especially for personal worship. I just, because of the statements that are in there, don't consider it appropriate always for corporate worship. So that's kind of what I'm saying by that. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on like the context that you're leading into. I was just thinking, because we lead that song at my church.
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily wrong for every church. Just my personal.
Right. This is my point. Like, the context that you lead it in is really important, because our church's name is Merge, which is like we're merging on this path, and that's the path of Jesus, and that's kind of like where we didn't just pick that name because it sounded cool or something. Like, that's the story of everybody that was a part of our church, and really we found continues to get connected to our church, is that they're all coming from these different experiences and converging on this one path. So like, to communicate that in song form Good Father does that perfectly. Like, I've heard 1,000 stories of what they think you're like. Like, that is the story of our church, because then we get to the truth that, like, no, this is actually what you are like. So it makes sense in our context. It might not make sense in other people's context.
Definitely.
But to get back to the idea of like corporate and personal worship, I think some of the language in songs lends itself to personal worship too. I don't know if, I'm sure you've thought about this before, but like the whole we versus I and me, like what's the balance for that? What are your thoughts on that?
That is one of the trickiest song selection, worship leading topics I think there possibly is, because I think one, that is an incredibly important thing to notice in your songs. If it says I, or if it says we, if it's first person or third person, or if it's talking to God, or if it's talking about God, all of these kind of semantic things, but especially I versus we is a huge deal. And in general, a song saying we is an indication that it was written with the intention of being sung in corporate worship. That doesn't necessarily mean it's good, but at least it was written with that intention. Now, the I is tricky because that could go either way. It doesn't mean it wasn't written for corporate worship. And the biggest wrench in this whole thing is the Psalms themselves, because most of those are I, but they're the perfect worship thing to use in worship. So it's not cut and dry, but yes, definitely. And I think the biggest thing is just to be aware of them, because I think some worship leaders, it may just be out of inexperience or just not having time to do it, but just don't notice that there's a difference when it says we and I. And it's a huge difference, not just in what's written, but in how people relate to what's being said. So yes, be very aware of that, and know that singing we accomplishes a goal of corporate worship, of us all saying together, we, oh yes, we, this is what all of us believe and what all of us want, etc., etc. Where saying I, though not always bad, can sometimes do what Spencer said in his post, which is encourage personal worship experiences in corporate worship. So that would be my thoughts on that. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm right in the same line with you. I think part of what I'm trying to flesh out too, which I keep using that term, but like figure out how we perpetuate this idea of personal worship in a corporate setting. Like, what are ways that we're doing that? Because I feel like it's happening over and over again. And I think like the pronouns is one way. Not that we can't ever use a song that says the word I. I mean, I probably have like 4 of those planned for this week at my church. But like, that's one way that we perpetuate this idea. Like, what are some other ways that we're doing that? And I think I kind of talked about one of those in the post too, was like, we like think about what you've said when you're leading worship. We want to make people feel as comfortable as possible. Like, just come in, find a spot, get as comfortable as you want. If you want to sit or stand, that's fine. Just, this is your time to be with God. Like that kind of language. And I feel like that's like the default for us leading people into worship. Like, I think that perpetuates the personal experience, instead of saying, hey, like in this moment, we're going to be encouraging each other in these truths that are in this song. Like, I don't hear that language being used very often. It's usually like, this is what you're going to get out of it, not what can you add to the edification of the body.
That's not what your church can do for you, but what you can do for your church.
Yeah.
That's a good principle. Yeah. I think it also applies outside of songs and worship as well. I've been in a weird worship leading spot where I'm leading at like 3 different places, but not always on Sundays. So I've gotten the chance to go to other churches on Sundays. And like the past couple ones we've been to, we've gone, and then we're both introverts too, me and my wife. So it makes us incredibly uncomfortable, but that's okay. They do like in the middle of service, they'll be like, okay, we're now going to get in groups and pray with each other. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no. We're like for communion. They're like, okay, we're going to get in our family groups and take communion together. And we're both like, oh, this is so uncomfortable for us, but it's really cool too. And that's another way to encourage, like, this is about us, not me. And as a newcomer in these churches, please do it well and tell newcomers that this might be weird for them, and that's okay. They can sit. That's okay. So maybe, there's good ways to do it for newcomers as well. But your church is there as a family, and outside of songs, you can encourage this corporate mentality by doing things that involve more than just the worship leader up on stage and then a bunch of individuals in the congregation. So I think, there's just lots of ways to do this in your church. Please be careful about making newcomers feel really awkward, but that doesn't mean don't do it. Just warn them first.
Yeah. I think one practical example that I've used before is like if we're in the middle of the song and there's a pause and a moment to talk and like set up like instruction for people. Sometimes I'll say like, even if this truth isn't isn't super important in your life right now, like even if your life is going amazing right now, like obviously we still need God in those moments, but if you aren't connecting on this at a deeper level as some other people are, like this is your chance to pray for them and sing whatever this truth is over those people. Like if you want something to do during this time and you're like, life's amazing right now, I don't want to sing how bad things are, like sing it over people. It's not just your responsibility to take in for yourself, but to pour that encouragement out over people.
Yeah, true. Charles Kirkpatrick says, "Hi, I am new." Hi, Charlize. Nice to see you. Alan Smith asks a question, which I actually just talked about in a video the other day. Or maybe I didn't put that out yet. Maybe I just recorded it. Should we be singing we or he? Where should the focus be? And I really like this question because it was one I struggled with the other day. Personally, let me do my rant and then you can do your thing. So I think we should be saying both a lot. And saying we does not take the focus off of God, actually. So I was looking at hymns and I was thinking about hymns, and there's a lot of hymns where, sorry, I gotta get my thoughts together. Okay. So there's two different ways to say me in a worship song, or us, or focus on us. We're saying this is what we do. We're saying this is what we're going to do. We're going to say things about our own actions. And then there's songs where we can say what God did for us. So songs like Nothing But the Blood of Jesus, we say I and we and me a lot in that song, but the focus isn't on us. It's what can wash away my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? What's my righteousness? Blah, blah, blah. My. We say my constantly and nothing but the blood. But even though we say my constantly in that song, the focus is never on us. It's always on God, because we're not talking about what we're doing. We're talking about what God is doing for us. So saying we and he should be both. We just need to make sure our we's are pointing that way and not this way, is what I would say. What about you? What do you think?
I think I think that covers my thoughts on it. The thing that popped out to me though, whenever I heard that, was like, I feel like we're talking about pronouns and worship songs, but
we are
another way to, yeah, but like gender specific pronouns in worship
he's gonna
songs.
Go there.
He's
gonna go there.
This is just like we used to do a Phil Wickham song at my church that was like talking about, like he wrote it about himself, and I was just thinking for the women in our church, like for them to say I'm a wretched man or something like that, like I was just questioning how does that resonate with them, and I'm not sure I had an answer to that. But what do you think about that? You seem like you have thoughts on that.
On that specific case, or on the in general?
Just in general. Yeah.
I have conflicting thoughts. I really honestly don't know. Be that my vision, this comes up a lot. I'm only talking about hymns because they're coming up. I'm not like a only sing hymns guy, by the way.
That's what it sounds like.
That's not what's happening. I just, for some reason, I guess I see those lyrics more because of Reawaken hymns. I don't know. But be that my vision says, thou my true father and I thy true son.
Yeah.
Which is, why doesn't it say I thy true daughter? And one that doesn't fit. But anyways, I don't I don't have the answer to that question. If somebody comes up to me and says, hey, we sang Be That My Vision, it says, I, That True Son, and I'm not a son, I'm a daughter, so it's hard for me to relate to that, I'd just be like, I get that. And I don't have the answer. I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah.
I could try to change it to, and I, Thy True Child, or something like that. That's fine. But I think it's tough. I don't have an answer. I don't think there is a right answer. I don't think... It is one of those things that people get on the internet and get really mad about. And they're like, oh, don't you dare change my songs. Or I can't believe we're using the wrong pronouns or whatever. Be graceful. Just be graceful. Because it's hard. And like when you're talking about hymns that were written a long time ago when male pronouns were all that were ever used. And today there's songs like he was talking about where it's personal stories. And Phil Wickham's not going to say, I'm a daughter of Christ. You know, like.
Right. Yeah.
So it's tricky. It's really tricky. There's no like immediately right answer. So just be graceful. I don't have the answer. Sorry.
I'm disappointed.
I'm so sorry. Michael says, hello, gentlemen. Hello, Michael. Charlize says, I'm sorry I can't answer this, but can you do the story behind You Say by Lauren Daigle and what it means to you? I can't talk about that song because I don't know it. Do you know that song?
You say I'm loved.
Okay, he knows that song.
Oh, that's all I know.
Yeah. So
I know.
I can't really help you there. Sorry. But you can tell us your story behind why you like it if you want to in the comments there. All right. You got anything else about corporate versus personal?
I don't think so. I don't know if we answered any questions. I think we might have created more questions than we answered, but
that's what worship leaders and pastors do, right?
Yes.
They don't answer a thing. They just give more questions.
Sometimes like whenever I'm leading a small group at my church, I'll ask questions to get people to think. And they're like, I think they're questions that people think I should know the answer to, but they just look at me like I'm stupid. But like I'm asking it in a very specific way. I'm like, why do you think whatever did this? And they're like,
shouldn't you know?
You should know. Like, I don't know that, but you should know that. Why are you asking the question? I don't know. Just something that popped in.
All right. That was our worship topic of the day. That was good. That was cool. We got deep there. That was nice. And then you put me on the spot with a question I don't have the answer to at the end. So that was awesome. That was just rude of you, but we'll get over it. That's okay. No, that's good. If you're a worship leader, don't be afraid to say, I don't know. Because that's probably the best thing you can say in some cases is just, I don't know. It's hard. Help me figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go on. Speaking of things that are hard and you might not know about, let's go into the Feats of Obscure Knowledge Part 2.
Yes. I'm ready.
That was a good segue, right? All right, let me grab it. So here is our... Go ahead, sorry.
I feel like I'm going to do well at these, but then I'm horrible in the moment. Happens every time. Buzzword.
Shh, might be copyrighted.
Oh.
I don't know. That's probably...
Bleep that out.
Mattel's watching this right now, just waiting for their cut. All right. So, let's see. I don't know which of these is the easy side or hard side. Red or blue? You want red or blue?
I'll do blue. Red is danger, so let's do blue.
Charlie says, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but say my name like it's spelled. I'm very sorry, Charlize. Charlesy? Can you let us know how it's spelled? I mean, I know how it's spelled. It's right there. I'm not blind, but let us know how you say it. Type it out phonetically for us. I apologize if I said your name wrong. My bad. All right. Sorry, what'd you say, blue or red?
Blue. Red is danger, so we'll go with
blue. Okay. Sorry, people keep asking questions. This is good. I'm glad. I wish this wasn't 30 seconds behind. Pause. Hold on. Can you explain better? Sorry. About the I and me's in song lyrics again, please. I caught the tail end of the conversation about the I's and me's. Yeah, let me just go over what I said real quick because you can go back and watch it. This will be on the YouTube channel after, so you can go back and see what we said. But basically, we're just saying that me's in a song indicate it was probably written for corporate worship, and that's not a guarantee it's good for corporate worship. It is a clue. I's don't necessarily mean it wasn't written for corporate worship, but it might be, and also might encourage personal worship experiences in corporate worship. But again, a lot of psalms were written as I's, so that's not always true. Just be aware of whether it says me or I or any of that thing, and then take that in account when you see if it's proper for a corporate worship song. Okay. All right, here we go. Sorry, You said blue, right?
Yes, red is danger.
I can't. I'm so distracted. Feats of obscure knowledge 2. Buzzword blue. Here we go. You need 6 to tie, 7 to win. Oh, let me bring up the scoreboard of greatness. 6 to tie, 7 to win. Here we go.
Is there like a theme to this?
Yes, your buzzword is
okay.
Bill. Bill. Bill.
Give me an example. I forget what this is.
Okay, so
give me an example from the
from the red side. Your buzzword is
Dark
up.
side.
So I would say you make me crazy. The answer would be you drive me up a wall. So all the answers will have that word in it, up. So your word is Bill. 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 All your answers will have Bill. Bill is your word. Bill. Bill. You got it? I don't want any confusion. Here we go. 60 seconds on the non-existent clock. Hillary's husband and former commander-in-chief.
Bill Clinton.
Annie Oakley knew him.
No idea.
We'll come back to it. You'll get one more shot.
Oh, Wild Bill. Is that
No.
right? No.
One of the original Ghostbusters.
Bill Murray.
Bam. That's 2. Most money is not as crooked as this.
Money is not as crooked as this. I don't know.
Alan is encouraging Spencer. Go, Spencer, he says.
Thank you, Alan.
Microsoft mogul.
Bill Gates.
That's 3. Saturday Night Live Play-Doh guy.
Play-Doh guy. The only Saturday Night Live guy I know is Bill Hader, but I think that this was before that.
Play-Doh guy. You got to get this.
Play-Doh?
Yeah. You're too young. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Yeah.
So young. All right. So you only have 4 left to get at least 3. But we'll go over them one more time. The voice of Fat Albert.
Bill Cosby.
That's 4. 1989 movie about 2 goofy time travelers.
Bill and Ted's something adventure. Amazing Adventure. Awesome Adventure.
You think about that. We'll come back. The first 10 amendments of the U.S. Constitution.
The Bill of Rights.
That's 5. You have one more to tie, although we're going back. A shipping document.
A shipping document.
Shipping document.
Bill of Receipt.
No. All right, we're going to go back one more time. The ones you missed. You have 5. You need one more.
Need one more. To tie. I don't want to tie.
You need 2 more to not tie. One more chance. Here we go. Annie Oakley knew him.
Bill. I don't know.
Okay. Most money is not as crooked as this.
Crooked money.
Crooked money.
I don't know.
Okay. Saturday Night Live Play-Doh guy.
I don't know. That was before my time.
You don't know? Oh my gosh.
No.
1989 movie about 2 goofy time travelers.
I'm close on this one, right?
Yeah, so close.
Bill and Ted. I just need that one word, right? Bill and Ted. Fantastic.
One more shot. Give me one more word.
Bill and Ted's epic.
Shipping document.
So I don't know. I failed.
I have 2 pieces of bad news. 1, you didn't make the cut. You're behind both of them.
I know.
2, Gerard or Michael gave you the answer to Bill and Ted's in the live chat.
I should have been watching.
Excellent. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Excellent. I thought he was just saying I did excellent.
Why would he say that? I am so sorry, but I'm going to have to put...
Wow.
Let's see. Here we go. So you got 5. Let me count again just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. That brings us to a total of 8.
In my defense, I was the youngest contestant so far, and this is
okay.
Was this game old or just the last one was old?
This is like 10 years old. So yeah, you were like 4 years old when it was made.
You want to go through the answers I
Oh
missed
yeah.
so I can feel even worse about
Annie
myself?
Oakley knew him was Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill.
Most money's not as crooked as this is $3 bill. I don't know that saying. Saturday Night Play-Doh guys, Mr. Bill. You don't remember Mr. Bill at all? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Nope.
And shipping documents a bill of lading. I've never heard.
Man, you give me some hard ones.
You
I
picked
want the
blue.
red side.
That was,
I want up or
up
whatever that
wasn't
other
any
word
easier. All right. 8. So that's at least you weren't that far behind.
was. Yeah.
All right.
It was hard mode.
So Adam and Jake remain tied at the top. Spencer is lonely at the bottom with 8. But there's only been 3. There's plenty of time for people to do worse than you. So
Yes, that's all I can hope for.
it's all good. All right. Good work. Let me put away the scoreboard so your shame can be lessened. All right. Now
Cover my
covered
shame.
your shame.
Need an animal sacrifice.
Now is the final part, and this is non-negotiable, shameless self-promotion. I want to hear what you're doing, so tell me all about Leading Worship Well and anything else you're doing.
Yes, I've got several different places that you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Leading Worship Well, where I'm posting new worship leading tips every single day. So I'd love to connect with you over there. Leading Worship Well at Leading Worship Well, Instagram or Facebook. I'm also on YouTube now. I just recently started a YouTube channel which goes by the name of Leading Worship Well. So you can check that out. I'm posting videos every Friday. So there'll be a video out tomorrow. And then my website, leadingworshipwell.com. I post like all of my blog posts over there. And if you don't know what I do, like I write up practical worship leading tips every day, and I've been doing it for a year and 7 months now. So there's like 600 blog posts over on my website and Instagram, and so lots of information to sift through.
By the way, everyone, if you don't know, writing a full-blown blog post every day is insane. So go read them, because this man's crazy, and that's just crazy. I couldn't do that. I can't.
They're micro blog posts.
Okay.
That's why I started on Instagram.
Okay. They're pretty long for micro.
Yeah. They're as long as you can get on Instagram, 200 or 2,200 characters.
Oh, that's not micro at all. I can't even write a full blog post of 2,000 characters.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, on your website, you have a ebook, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a free audio training that you can get first. It's called 5 Tips to Instantly Improve Your Worship Leading, where I go through 5 things that you need to know to improve your worship leading. They're pretty simple things, but you just have to know about them and make the effort to do them. Most of them are in your preparation for worship leading. So if you want to find that, you can just head over to leadingworshipwell.com. That's the main thing on the first page there. So you'll find it pretty easily.
Okay. And then you have an ebook, which is?
Yes, I have an ebook called 30 Days to Leading Worship Well, a practical devotional for worship leaders. So I took some of my blog posts from my first year of doing Leading Worship Well, like the best blog posts that I had chosen by the people who were following me at the time, and I put them together in devotional form. So it's like this 30-day process of not just, I feel like there's some worship leading devotionals out there that focus a lot on the spiritual side of things, which is great to know, but this is more of the practical side of leading worship. So like how to pick songs, how to engage your congregation, how to put songs in a singable key, answering all those sort of questions. So there's like a lesson and then some questions to help you apply that lesson to your own context. So you can check that out on Amazon, 30 Days to Leading Worship Well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. This was fun. And again, I apologize for you doing terrible on the games.
I'm too young. I'll blame it on my youngness.
Blame it on the youth. All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. Last week, I had the Chewbacca mug. This week, I have the Big Hug mug. Join us next week to see what mug I have then, 2 weeks from now, probably. And I don't know who's going to be on because I let the ball drop and forgot to schedule somebody for the next one. But we will have one coming up in 2 to 3 weeks. And I got a whole list of people that I have yet to ask and I've been meaning to. So thank you so much for joining us on Those Worship People. Thank you, Spencer, so much for joining us on Those Worship People. And it was awesome. I had lots of fun. Hope you guys had fun. And we will see you. Well, not we. He won't see you. I'll see you back here in a couple weeks, and he'll see you in 5 minutes when you subscribe to his Instagram.
Yes, I'm about to put a post out in 10 minutes. So.
There you go. So thank you, everybody, for joining us, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.